Hello and welcome to the Cosmic Egg, episode 18, folks. 18, barely legal. This week we're going to be looking at comedy, but we're looking at a very specific type of comedy, the one-liner comedian. My favorite type of comedian, the one-liner. And I've chosen two different comedians to review. Each of these comedians is completely different in style, completely different in delivery, and completely different in the topics in which they present. So I thought they'd be excellent for comparison. Each of these comedians is a master in their own domain, you might say, in their style of comedy and then their topics of comedy. The first up is Steward Francis from the UK, and hopefully he'll allow us to review him here in North America, because you can actually buy his stuff here. You have to go to the UK to actually buy his CDs and stuff. He doesn't sell it out here. And the second up is a comedian from Boston, Stephen Wright, who has been referred to as a comedic genius. I think you'll see why. I did include a couple of controversial jokes because these two comedians, by and large, are fairly clean. So I did include a couple of controversial ones. I won't tell you who delivers them or where. It's kind of a surprise attack, but they are hilarious nonetheless. So without further ado, let's get Steward Francis up to the mic, and I'm going to head back out. I actually went out before the show to pick up a couple things at this place called the General Store. They wouldn't let me buy anything specific.
They say if you're nervous, just picture the audience naked, unless you're doing a kid show. And some of you are like, hey, you can't make fun of the blind. Watch me. My dad has a weird hobby. He collects empty bottles, which sounds so much better than alcoholic, doesn't it? I don't do impressions. I perform self-deprecating comedy, although I'm not very good at it. I couldn't be gay. I just don't have it in me. Tell you a bit about myself. I'm not a very competitive person. I'm always the first to say it. I've been called a hypochondriac, which really hurts. Oh, what a tangled web we weave when first we practice to deceive. I wrote that. So much nudity on TV, I just sit there shaking my fist. Last night I was furious. All this nudity! It's getting out of hand! I'm back in the game. Now, I'm not an expert on masturbation, but I hold my own. Nothing weird about masturbating. It's perfectly natural. Remember the first time my parents found me masturbating? I wasn't ashamed. I was startled. I almost dropped their wedding picture. I know! Oh. I was looking at the priest. I'm not a fucking weirdo. I'll tell you about my family. I'm the youngest of three. My parents are both older. I farted in a full lift today, which was wrong on so many levels. I'd like to dedicate my performance to my father, who was a roofer, so Dad, if you're up there. I was raised by my father. My mother left before I was born. I like being raised by my father. He's schizophrenic, but he's good people. My uncle's a hypnotist who has never inappropriately touched me. I was horrible in school. I failed math so many times I can't even count. I was good at history. No. No, I wasn't. So long ago. So what if I can't spell Armageddon? It's not the end of the world. Women are attracted to bad boys. I read that in prison. In a magazine I stole. Twice. My dad was a man of few words. I remember he used to say to me, son, like most deaf people, my father went to the school of hard knocks. I was a mime, it's only now I can talk about it. I was a trapeze artist, but I was let go. I was a trampoline salesman, off and on. I was a glass blower, but then Mr. Glass was transferred. I used to install mirrors, which is something I could always see myself doing. Quit my job as a psychic, I just didn't see any future in it. Quit my job at the helium gas factory, I refuse to be spoken to in that tone. Want to donate a large sum of money to a rape clinic and I won't take no for an answer. Rape victims, if they can't take a joke, fuck them. Hey, should lesbians be allowed to use dildos? They made their choice. But what if dolphins don't want to swim with retarded children? I read that 10 out of 2 people are dyslexic. I want to write a mystery novel, or do I? I actually have written a book, or have I? I won't do it again, or will he? It's hard to tell with this renegade. Or is it? When I was a kid, my dad used to always hit me with a camera. I still have flashbacks. And a really weird photo album. I used to drive a Focus, but, come on. Sorry. I now drive an Echo. You heard me. Can bald people have hairline fractures? Do vegetarians like to meet people? Is happy-go-lucky one fucking word? I don't care if you're black, I don't care if you're white, I don't care if you're Asian, I don't care about you. Had some great shows. Did a show last night for a group of backpackers. They were sitting on the edge of their seats. I'm also an actor. I recently auditioned for the part of Jesus Christ. Nailed it! I was so convincing they want to see me again in 3 days. Is religion about making money? I don't know. Ask a prophet. My uncle is easily the most devout Catholic I've ever been fucked by. Easily. Also in the States, a man robbed an art class. Actually held up an art class. Please now have 22 sketches of the robber. My wife and I have decided we don't want children. If anybody does, we can drop them off tomorrow. The fat one has asthma. My wife and I met at a castanet class where we clicked. No. That's not entirely funny. No, we actually met in a museum, and the rest is history. No, we actually met at a driving range where we hit it off. No, truthfully, we met at a chess match where she made the first move. No, we actually met in a library. That's novel. No, we met at the Special Olympics. It was a no-brainer. You can tell the character of a person by what that person does in their spare time. Once a week, I like to go over to the local orphanage and yell, "Who's your daddy?" Mom's the word. Bob's your uncle. My wife said to me, "You're not very compassionate towards the fact I'm a diabetic." I said, "Sugar." Honey. Sweetie. Insulin. Why are you crying? Are you an orphan? Tried that psychological test on my wife. I said, honey, is the glass half full or half empty? She said, I don't give a fuck. But if it's on the coffee table, it better be a fucking coaster on it. Hope things are going okay for you. Money-wise, I'm set for life, provided I die next Tuesday. I'm trying to become at least the most famous person in my neighborhood. There's a guy in my neighborhood. He's in the Guinness Book of Records. He's had 43 concussions. He lives very close. In fact, just a stone's throw away. But the point. My doctor thinks I'm taking hallucinogenic drugs. How do I know? Let's just say a little bird told me. My therapist says I have a preoccupation with vengeance. We'll see about that.
That was Steward Francis. Next up, Stephen Wright.
Curiosity killed the cat, but for a while I was a suspect. When I die, I'm going to leave my body to science fiction. What do batteries run on? Why is the alphabet in that order? Is it because of that song? Guy who wrote that song wrote everything. I like to tease my plants when I water them with ice cubes. Every once in a while I like to stick my head out my window, look up at the sky and smile for a satellite picture. It's my birthday recently. For my birthday I got a humidifier and a dehumidifier. Put them in the same room, let them fight it out. Then I filled my humidifier with wax, now my room's all shiny. I went to a museum where they had all the heads and arms from the statues that are in all the other museums. Everywhere is walking distance if you have the time. I used to work for the factory where they make hydrants, but you couldn't park anywhere near the place. Sometimes you can't hear me, it's because sometimes I'm in parentheses. I'm going to court next week. I have been selected for jury duty. It's kind of an insane case. 6,000 ants dressed up as rice and robbed a Chinese restaurant. I don't think they did it. I know a few of them and they wouldn't do anything like that. I stayed up one night playing poker with tarot cards. I got a full house and 4 people died. I broke a mirror in my house and I'm supposed to get 7 years bad luck, but my lawyer thinks he can get me 5. One night a jet flew a little bit too close to my house. I was walking from the living room to the kitchen and the stewardess told me to sit down. I have a 3-year-old dog and named him Stay. He was a lot of fun when he was a puppy because when I called him I would say, "Come here, Stay, come here, Stay." And he would go. He's a lot smarter than that now. Now when I call him, he'll just ignore me and keep on typing. He's an East German Shepherd. When I was little in our backyard, we had a quicksand box. I was an only child, eventually. I like to skate on the other side of the ice. One time the police stopped me for speeding and they said, "Oh, you know the speed limit is 55 miles an hour?" I said, "Yeah, I know, but I wasn't going to be out that long." I like to fill my tub up with water, then turn the shower on and act like I'm in a submarine that's been hit. And I hate when my foot falls asleep during the day because that means it's going to be up all night. When I was a baby, I kept a diary. Recently I was rereading and it said day one, still tired from the move. Day two, everybody talks to me like I'm an idiot. I spilled spot remover on my dog, now he's gone. One time I went to a museum where all the work in the museum had been done by children. They had all the paintings up on refrigerators. I left the museum and I was walking down the street. I saw a man who had wooden legs and real feet. Called the wrong number today. I said, hello, is Joey there? And a woman answered. She said, yes, he is. I said, can I speak to him, please? She said, no, he can't talk right now. He's only 2 months old. I said, all right, I'll wait. One time, right in the middle of a job interview, I took out a book and I started reading. The guy said, what the hell are you doing? I said, let me ask you one question. If you're in a vehicle and you were traveling at the speed of light, then you turned your lights on, would they do anything? He said, I don't know. I said, forget it then, I don't want to work for you. Today I was... No, that wasn't me. Yesterday I saw a subliminal advertising executive just for a second. I like my dental hygienist. I think she's very pretty. So whenever I go to have my teeth cleaned while I'm in the waiting room, I eat an entire box of Oreo cookies. Sometimes they have to cancel all the rest of the appointments. One night I couldn't sleep, so I got up. Then I got hungry, so I went down to the store that I know is open 24 hours. When I got down there was a guy outside locking it up. He said, sorry, we close. I said, what do you mean you close? The sign says open 24 hours. He said, not in a row. Well, you can't have everything. Where would you put it? When I first moved into my house, there was a switch on the wall. It didn't control any lights or anything. I just flick it up and down every once in a while. And about a month later, I got a letter from a woman in Germany saying, cut it out. He told me he spent most of his life working on a research project for the government, trying to find out who financed the pyramids. He worked on it 30 years, and they paid him an incredible amount of money. He told them he was pretty sure it was a guy named Eddie. For absolutely no reason, I went to Canada. I was feeling good. I had just received my degree in calcium anthropology, the study of milkmen. My friend George is a radio announcer, and when he walks under a bridge, you can't hear him talk. A friend of mine named Dennis, his parents are midgets. But he's not a midget. He's a midget dwarf. He's this big. He's the guy who poses for trophies. I have several hobbies which I enjoy to the fullest. I have a large seashell collection which I keep scattered on the beaches all over the world. Maybe you've seen it. I also collect rare photographs. I have two very rare photographs. One is a picture of Houdini locking his keys in his car. The other was a rare photograph of Norman Rockwell beating up a child. I got a postcard from my friend George. It was a satellite picture of the entire Earth. On the back he wrote, "Wish you were here." Sorry, my mind was wandering. One time my mind went all the way to Venus and ordered a meal I couldn't pay for.